Hey everyone, welcome to Weekend Project. I'm Laura Lynn of the Mama Pop Quilt Shop, and we're very happy to see you here today. Today we're working on the Sugaridoo Part 6, Row 7 of her Quilt Along from 2019. It has been such a massive, big adventure for me. I'm so excited, looking forward to it every single week about picking my colors, and I'm trying to use a textured or a pattern print whatever shape we're doing. So this beautiful little triangle here, or sorry, arrow here, where I'm using some pattern green. So I've only chosen 2. I like them. I like how they go together, so we're going to use them. I can show you my strip that I have so far. Okay. And then I need to make a gray, which is the accent color, and then one more of the green ones of this one right here, okay? Because a gray will go over in this area and it's going to go up, and then I need another of these, this color green on the very end, okay? So we're going to build that out, and it's really super easy. You get to print off the pattern, which is free. The whole thing is free. Check the link below if you want to come and sew along with us. You're not too late. We're just at the halfway point, and there's plenty of time to catch up. And then you want to take these and you want to trace it out, whether it's on freezer paper, if you're lucky to be able to get that. We can't find it here. That's okay. I'm using parchment paper. It's doing just fine. I have no need for freezer paper. So I've been tracing it out. So I had to do it 12 times. Okay. Well, you don't have to do it. If you want to do the fold and stitch right next to the fold method, that's completely up to you. Then you can reuse and reuse and reuse your pattern. I don't mind stitching on the line. I know it's all together. I know it's precise and accurate, and that's what's going to make me happy. So once you get your pattern all traced out, then you're going to want to use one of your patterns to cut it and make it as your template for your fabric, okay? So you're going to have your background fabrics, which are going to be these pieces here. Okay, and then of course that is the opposite of that right there. I don't know what happened to that piece. The tiniest piece we're dealing with right here is A4. And that's very, very tiny. Very, very tiny. And then this is going to be our main fabric that we're going to be doing, like our big, beautiful colored fabric, and of course our accent fabric with the gray. And I still have to cut that. That's why the pieces are here. So very tiny A4, an A5, and an A1 is what we need to make our beautiful arrow. And then we've got 2 pieces for background. So if you're using a solid, you can just use one of these pieces as a template like I did here. Of course, I made sure it was bigger all the way around just to be on the safe side, and same for my angled piece here. I just left it as a nice big rectangle. That way I didn't have to go no fuss, no muss. I knew it was going to fit when sewing and flipped. So, and I don't mind the little extra pieces. I always do something with those ones, right? So, all right, so let's get sewing, because that's what we got to do. Actually, no, we got to trace out first, and then we got to sew. All right. Look what happened to my ruler. It broke. It broke there and there. That was a very sad face. It's still a sad face. It's okay. Pop's going to get me a new one. So we only need 1 piece of each of these, but when it comes to your green accent fabric that you want to be, your main fabric that you want to be using for this pattern, you're going to need 11 pieces. So whether you mix and match like I did 5 of one and 6 of another, and then the one that didn't make the 6 gets the green as or the gray as the replacement. Okay. So you just want to make sure you're giving yourself lots of room. Cut off the salvage there. Okay, so that'll be the part for the main part of the arrow. And then we want to make sure we're having a nice little piece. That seems like it might be a little narrow there. Look how kind of tight it is on those 2 corners. So I don't think, I mean, you could risk it, but I think I'd rather go a little bit this way and give myself ample room, and then I know I'm not wasting the piece of fabric. And I just left it as a big chunk like that. And of course this one, you could probably just use one of the pieces left over from those, but we'll just cut like a little rectangle piece. Okay, there we go. Easy peasy. And of course you just want to keep that with the rest of your fabrics. Let's do the gray one first, and then we'll do the green. Okay. So here is our pattern template that we're going to use. So we want to make sure this gray fabric gets right in behind, because what we're going to do is we're going to lay in the fabric on the back side of our paper and being stitching on the front. So we know, okay, there's plenty of room around this whole line here, even coming down past the not salvage, the seam allowance. What's that brain part there? And I just took, the only time I ever used a pin was on this very first step, and that was just to kind of hold it right in the center. And then you're going to take it, and then you're going to fold on this line right here, from point to point where it's for 2, okay? So you can kind of put your little fingers, pinching your fingers right where the little line meets up, and over here, and then folding it down, and doing a little press. And then you can take your 1/4 inch little ruler, little one for paper piecing, or you can do what I do and just lay it up on the 1/4 line right there, and then trim. So you've got plenty of room. And it also gives you guidance of where you're putting your next bit of fabric. Okay, so flip this back over. See how it looks right there? Now we want to add our background fabric, which is going to go right here. So we take our rectangle chunk, and we're going to make sure that it's going to clear the seam allowance on the bottom, and it's going to clear that little section that we needed to on the top, and no problem. So we're going to hold it steady. And this is where you get to sewing. Put it underneath the machine. Okay, and I did use a bit of a tighter seam stitch for this. And you're just going to kind of make sure everything's lined up, the edge to edge there, edges are to edges, and then you just want to sew on down that line. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So this is the first piece, second piece, third piece, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. That's it. This is really a good paper piece tester for new people who maybe just want to just give it a try and make this cool shape. Okay, so now that we've sewn on that line, it's a little close there, but that's okay. You'll still do it, and then we're going to flip that over. And then we're going to do the same over on this side. We're going to pinch our fingers right there, just in between, having the paper in between our fingers, just so we're kind of getting more of an accurate where we want our fabric to stop. And then fold it over. And then we'll give that a trim, and then add our black piece to it, or background piece, whatever your background piece may be. I'm loving the black. It is making all those colors pop up. It's beautiful. Beautiful. All right, take your other rectangle piece, and of course line it up, and doing the same thing. You can see where the line is on the paper pattern for the end of the seam allowance and where it needs to cover for that section. Just pop it up on there. Hold her tight and steady. Put her underneath the machine. And sew on down the line. I feel like that's a country song. Sew on down the line. We should make it one. What do you think? Who's got a verse? Put it in the comments below. All right, now we're going to flatten that out. We can take our pin out now because I know it's not going anywhere for sure. Lay it flat. Now we want to focus on this 4 part. Now it's tiny. We know it's tiny, and you're thinking, oh, I don't know if I want to deal with that. And you think maybe to yourself, well, why didn't they just put a piece up here and just make the triangle? Well, if you actually look at this pattern, these tips actually come farther down than the center itself. So it really is a unique pattern. So, you know, you got to have the tips on either side, the longer parts, okay? So again, we're just going to fold, put pinches where we need to fold our fabric. I'm going to fold her down all the way across, and then we're going to take our little ruler, make sure our background fabric's pressed out, okay, and then lining up our ruler, trimming right across, and then we add the tiny little gray piece. I know, you think, oh boy, that's tiny. It is tiny. It is tiny, but it really does make the whole arrow. It really does. I did think that at first. I'm like, why don't we just put a big triangle piece here? And I'm like, oh, if you look at it, if you really look at it, it actually, the tips come down farther. Okay, so now we've sewn that. Flip it back up here. And again, we're going to fold on the 5 line, the 4 and the 5 line, okay? So we'll pinch it, fold her down, make sure things are laying flat. Trim up. And then we put our bigger piece that's going to make the big part of the triangle. Okay, and you'll see it's actually on an angle. Okay, and again, underneath the machine. Make sure we're lined up all the way across. A little back stitch. Okay, and then up we go. There we go, and only 2 more pieces left. And you end up with bits and bobs like this, which you could use for stuffers, use for other starts for crazy quilt blocks or some, wackadoodle bag. I mean, just think of what all you could do with the leftover bits. That's another challenge you could have for yourself. Or give it to the youngins to play with. Let them have some fun. Let them be creative with your leftover bits that you're not sure what to do with. I'm sure they can find something to do with it. All right, and trimming it up, folding it on that line for the 6. Very easy, laying it out here flat, taking our triangle-ish kind of piece and making sure it's going to clear the top and clear the side of the corner to make it a nice rectangular block. Slide it back underneath the machine, making sure you're not getting your other corner folded under either, right? You just want to make sure it's, give a little peek. Doesn't take much to give a little peek under. Make sure you're going in the right direction. Right. And I do a little back stitch when it comes to some of those points, just to be on the safe side. Okay, see where we sewed that, and then we flip our fabric here, and then you can see how it clears that line. We got lots of room to be doing up the trimming. Okay, so we can lay that flat there. And now we're going to trim the other side to add 7. And that is the end of this block. And then we just give it a good press and then trim it up like all the others. And then lay our triangle out. Flip it over. Oh, yep, I see my corner had folded on that one, so I'm glad I gave it a little look. Here we go. Isn't that beautiful? And after a press and a trim, which we'll do that right now. Move my little goggles out of the way. And then I just got one more to do to finish my row. We've got other ones behind me here. You can barely see the blue on the camera though, but it's there. Here it is, the Tetris, the pink triangles, the orange hashtag, and then the orange and dark orange chevrons, and then the green triangles. So, okay, so there we go. Give that a little press. Now we just take this here and we trim her out. Okay. And I am using my paper piecing blade on this, so I could do this. Make sure it's lying flat. Putting my ruler on the inside seam line to make sure I'm giving it a quarter from that line. There we go. Isn't that pretty? And then that goes in this sequence, which we're going to put right here, and I can sew that together now. That there. And I just put a little pin just to make sure it'll stay together. Let's move these bitty bobs off to the side here. Okay. Such a fun block. I've actually been enjoying every single block. Every single block. It's been really fun. And I mean, you could do a whole quilt with just the one block. Just keep, making them. You found one you really, really like the hashtag one, or the triangle one. The boys really like the triangle one. They said that one would look amazing as, row after row after row on a quilt. So, oh, beautiful. Okay, now we're going to take this part and we'll add it on. Oops. See, and that's how pattern pieces get lost. You're flipping and flopping. I'm sure it's over the other side there. Okay, just line it up. And put that little pin just right in the center. I find that just only needed one. Just to keep them steady and snug and even. Okay. There we go. And if you find things that always flop to your side here and it gets a little heavy, or, you know, get a little side table. You can put that there to help things take the pressure off, like especially if you're doing binding on a big quilt, which I was doing. I did the binding on a very large t-shirt quilt, and it was like, all right, get the ironing board out, help me, give me support. So either an iron board or a little table or something like that. If you don't, you know, don't fight with it if you don't have to. You know, think about what you got to help aid you. Even a, you know, TV tray. You know. Okay. There. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. I think it's called This Way and That. And I did switch out as we were going across because I didn't want these, the two mushroom ones on either side. So I did it my way because I was using a pattern and changing it up. So I have one more green one of these to do, and then my project is finished. It's going to be amazing. The next one is, I think they're like little circles or little mounds. It looks like little sunrises or something like that. I'm very excited for that. It's got yellows, and I got some yellows, so I'm excited to use some of those in this project. So there we go. So thank you everybody for joining us today. We greatly appreciate you. Don't forget to check us out Saturdays at 1 p.m. Eastern for our live streams. We're working on a couple of free tote bags this weekend, so come sew along with us if you like. You can check out the details that will be listed on our guild website, www.wesew.com, in our current live stream or live stream projects. The list will be there for you to click and enjoy with us. There's 10 bags from the website that are free. You don't have to choose the 2 that I'm doing. You can pick something else. Just come and sew along. It'd be fun. Okay, take care everybody. We'll see you soon. Oh, next Friday we're going to get caught up on our blue block of the month. So there'll be just a little bit of a gap on the Sugaridoo, and we'll get caught up on the blue block and then back to Sugaridoo. Okay, so take care everybody. We'll see you real soon. Thank you very much for your time.